In spite of the horrific tactics employed by the U.S. military, the war was won by the combined resistance of the Vietnamese and American people. Here's a preview of our upcoming video, Vietnam, People's Victory.
This one guy breaks cover and stands right in the middle of the clearing, and he's got an AK with a clip in it. That's all he's got, and his PJs, you know. And here comes the jet on a run, and he stood there until it got within range of his gun and emptied his clip at the jet until the HE hit him on the head, literally. And boom, he was gone. I remember watching this from the next hill over and thinking, I can't match that. How do you do that? How does anybody do that?
In grade school, we learned about redcoats, the nasty British soldiers that tried to stifle our freedom and the tyranny of George III. And I think, again, subconsciously, but not very subconsciously, I began increasingly to have the feeling that I was a redcoat. And I think it was one of the most staggering realizations of my life, to suddenly understand that I wasn't a hero, I wasn't a good guy, I wasn't handing out candy and cigarettes to the kids in the French villages, that somehow I had become everything I had learned to believe was evil.
We were aware that officers were being fragged. In our particular unit, our officer was aware that I felt pretty strong about some things, and so did some of the other men. And although we got to some pretty severe confrontations where there was some threats of shooting them in the field, that never had to be done. If I didn't want to go in a certain direction, if I felt that we were going to have a confrontation and shoot people for no reason at all other than to get a body count, I'd say, no, I'm scout, I'm going this way. You, officer, can go that way, but the other people follow me.
We wish that a merciful God could wipe away our own memories of that service, as easily as this administration has wiped their memories of us. And so, when 30 years from now our brothers go down the street without a leg, without an arm, or a face, and small boys ask why, we will be able to say Vietnam, and not mean a desert, not a filthy, obscene memory, but mean instead the place where America finally turned, and where soldiers like us helped it in the turning.
I think that all protests against the war are not only justified, but a civic duty. And I think that after you appreciate how we were lied into this war and the terrible consequences of it, just think, as a result of Johnson's lying, 55,000 American boys are dead. And I think that it's the duty of every American, if he knows these facts, to protest.
I decided to resign, along with Tony Lake and with Bill Watts, our colleague on the NSC staff, because I felt that the Cambodian invasion was a betrayal of the President's pledge to seek an honorable and just peace in Vietnam. I knew that peace was within our grasp. I was intimately involved in the negotiations. I knew that the other side was ready to agree, that we were ready to agree, and that the Cambodian invasion really destroyed all of that, devastated it for years to come, and literally cost tens of thousands of American lives, hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese lives.
We are ready for more jail, and more trials, and more conspiracy indictments. And this not because we are grown cynical or interiorly violent ourselves, but because we look upon Caesar with a skeptical and temperate and mature eye of the Christian.
You have a permit to march on the impetus, or but you're going to march anyway?
Are you expecting trouble? We expect to march. What does we expect trouble all the time.
But when I die, I'm going to die with my boots on, and it's going to be in this country. And it's going to be fighting for what I know is right, the liberation of black people, nothing else. Nothing else. And what we're going to say across this country from Muhammad Ali to the little black boy in Cardozo High School, hell no, we won't go.
Inside the palace, Zuan Van Min, president for 44 hours, was waiting. Colonel Bui Tin took the surrender.
When I saw fear on the faces of Min and the others present, I said, "The war has ended today, and all Vietnamese are victors. Only the American imperialists are the vanquished. If you still have any feelings for the nation and the people, consider today a happy day."